Welcome back to another episode of 56'N. We are pleased. We finally made it happen to have Doug White on 56'N. He's been on Street Tales. He's also a podcaster in his own right, published author. We will talk about it, Doug. I like to talk about these things, but 56'N is a different setting, different format. We just let it rip. And people who listen to the show know we try to have some questions and we flush them out. Sometimes we never get to the questions. So we'll see where this one goes. But Doug White, thank you so much for joining us.
Guys, thanks so much for having me, man. This is so cool. As I said earlier, I'm complete fangirl moment. You guys are just, I love everything that y'all are doing with this, just the connection you guys have. And it's cool, man. I haven't had a good, I retired in July of 23. So this is my first 56 since then.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Finally, somebody on the show who knows.
You'll always remember your first.
That's true. For those who new to the show or new, but we're all from the same, we all worked at the same agency. And 56'N is what we used to call when two cops or deputies, wanted to meet up and either talk about a case, talk about life, talk about philosophical questions, aka BJ, or hey, what are we going to eat for lunch today? It just kind of is all encompassing. And so, that's right. You do know 56'N.
Yeah.
And you always remember your first.
Always.
I like that. We should use that as a tagline.
No, that makes it kind of creepy. You'll have to put a warning on somewhere.
Fair enough. So BJ, go ahead. I've elucidated my feelings in relationship with Doug White on Street Tales and on his podcast. And but go ahead, BJ. You were in the same class as I was.
On the same.
You came and horrified us. We will not talk about that on the show. But
horrified? Who horrified you?
That shit actually. It's it. I remember us. Yeah. Me and Tyler talking about it after the fact, and I was like, huh.
What?
No, we talked about it offline.
Offline. Yeah. It's you were teaching us EOD in the academy.
You were teaching us officer safety and all the ways that people could try to get you, tripwires and explosive devices. Don't just run into rooms and up stairwells. And
that sounds like some shit that I would do, but I used to black out a lot, guys. I apologize for any lingering hard lessons.
It worked, and we're still here today. So boom.
Got me good. I was like, I was like, I don't know, man. That was like a well thought out plan. You think these really got that plan down written somewhere? I was like,
I hope not.
Was it the building evacuation and leading y'all down the stairs to the fire escape?
It was that one.
That was one.
Also, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to put it out into the ether, but you talked about if you really wanted to cause terror in the U.S., how would you do it? And we all had our little ideas, and you gave us yours, and we were like, oh my God.
I was like, Jesus.
Long story short, my kids never rode the bus again.
There was an academy class that they refused to use the hand soap in the bathrooms at the academy. They're like, he did something to the soap. I'm like, do you think we put a biological in hand soap? Like for weeks, they would go to restaurants or coffee shops and wash their hands. They wouldn't use it.
Well, listen, Doug, your lessons, again, that was 2011 for us.
Yeah.
But think about what's going on. Again, we don't get political here. That's not a thing that we do. But look at the state of things now and the traps and the things that are happening to law enforcement officers all over the country. I mean, still relevant today, baby.
Yeah, I think it was good. It's I think especially for us just starting out, who we don't our brains aren't trained to think in that manner just yet, right? You're a bit unaware of what's actually happening out in the world. So to kind of get that first little shock of, I was like, oh yeah, I have no idea what's going on out here. I should probably be paying attention a little bit more. Yeah.
It's the inability to be creative. If you wanted to get somebody, be a bad guy, you have to think like a bad guy. And, it limits, nobody's going to do that. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
When I would 56 with people, I would go to the top floor of a parking garage and back into the corner so I could see all the stairwells, the ramps, everything. Unless you were Spider-Man, you weren't going to get me.
You ain't going to get me.
So, and people would pull up next to me like, why is your pistol on your dashboard? Like, because I don't have to dig for it between my seat and the armrest to get to my pistol.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting there checking reports and I look up and bad guys coming, my pistol's in front of me. Like, that's a little much. I'm like, is it? Is it?
But is it though? Well, I think, even when I talk to people now, not in law enforcement, because they think I'm a freak because I lock all the doors. I have cameras. Sometimes I go above and beyond for security, window lock. I have all the things. And they're like, if somebody wants to get in, they really will. And I'm like, Yeah, sure. But I want to delay them enough that I hopefully wake up or somebody, you know what I mean? Like I just want that pause. And they're like, nothing happens around here. I was like, yeah, but when it does, it is so fast. Exactly. It is so fast.
I want them to have to take 5 seconds to try to get into the door while I sit there and look at the wall of guns. I'm like, that one. That's the one.
I'm going to use the crossbow.
Chainsaw underneath the shotgun. I'm going to go with that one today.
You know what? This was not a question.
Sorry.
But you made me think, because you were in a training in a leadership capacity, but was that something that you figured out on your own or just through teaching that, because again, you talked about you have to begin to think like a criminal or think like, hey, people do want to hurt you, because it was a completely new concept for me. How did you come up with that thought process, I guess, to then...
This is a nerd hole, and I'm going to make it as quickly as I can. So I grew up in a patriotic household, playing G.I. Joe, watching black and white war movies with my dad. That was our quality time together. So I was probably the only sixth grader that knew about the Sixth Fleet moving into the Mediterranean back in like 86 for Libya.
I like where this is going.
The news was always on. I was always paying attention to that. The overthrow of the Shah of Iran, I was 7. And I understood what was going on. So all of those things really fascinated me. Now, when I went to the Air Force after graduation, I was security police, and they have a law enforcement component, but they also have, nuclear security and force protection. So anti-terrorism. What are bad guys going to do? Things to put in bad guys' way to slow them down, to stop them for our response. So I got really good at, I don't want to say matrix, but I got really good at looking at tactical problems and landscapes and figuring out best approach, ways in, ways out, what I would do. And basically being a bad guy, and doing that in practice for so many years, and then doing training when I was in the Air Force. And I don't know, man, it became my nerd space to figure out bad guy stuff. And then I was always aware of terrorism, even back in the 80s, before it was popular per se.
Fair.
So, and then going back even, to the turn of the 20th century. But anyway, enough of the nerd stuff, but I was always paying attention to what was going on in the world. I would get the Triton reports, the quick looks, anything that happened in the world. I would get that stuff through Reuters or Rand, and I would read those things, and I would pick apart the debriefs. And I knew in Iraq and Afghanistan they were using playbooks from the IRA, from Hezbollah, Hamas, the whole thing, man. Anything that you see in Central America, Shining Path, all of these guys, it's all outsourced, man. Hezbollah and the IRA were the godfathers of IEDs.
Oh, yeah.
So you see their thumbprint on everything all over the world. Yeah. So they would try an attack and like, okay, that didn't work so well. And then they would do an after action report, say, okay, let's try it this way. So you would see 30 attacks that almost the same fingerprint, but they would get better and better and better. Worse for the good guys, better and better for the bad guys.
Yeah.
Then they would take that and they would shelf it. And their attacks were modular. So they would say, okay, we're going to take 1 from column A, 1 from column B, and 2 from column C, and we're going to make a coordinated attack. And the next thing you know, you start seeing coordinated attacks all across the Middle East. So you could actually follow the path of destruction to see what they're going to do, and that's what I did. I was able to put those things together. So being able to know what I would do as a bad guy, I was able to flip the switches as a good guy and prevent those things from happening.
Yeah.
So all the way full circle, I would introduce that stuff to you guys. Like I actually evacuated the academy one day. They went down the back stairwell based on the actual evacuation plan. I had booby-trapped the way, and I said, okay, let's just say you can make it here. This is the parking lot you're supposed to go to. Let's go there and rally up and do a head count. There actually was a Ryder truck parked in that dirt parking lot across from the academy.
Oh, no.
And instead of doing a search for secondaries or multiples, there's people leaning up against the Ryder truck just bullshitting.
Oh my God.
Like later on the day, we're going to talk about the Murrah Federal building and the truck you're leaning against. So that happened to work out by accident, but that was the shit that I would do, and that would just kind of work out. Yeah, man, that's how I figured all that stuff out. What would I do? Cops always pick up flashlights, and a flashlight is nothing but a pipe bomb. It's got your switch, your initiator, your power source, everything. A cop is going to pick up a mag light.
It's dangerous, boy.
I'm going to take your hand off or your face off.
Yeah.
Can of shoe polish, pack of cigarettes.
You know what? BJ, you know, well, we all know, but
yeah, BJ knows well. I'm sure.
Yeah,
but no, Rick DiPianto, as long as he was. Rick's devious. He's worse than I am, bro.
Oh man. A lot of
but you're talking about picking up flashlights. We've all known deputies, and I'm thinking of one specifically who had a trunk full because he would just pick them up if he saw them. He was like, you never know when you need a backup. And I was just like, and now that you're saying that, I was like, bro, that's a setup.
The big Shure stream lights, the big orange stream lights that firefighters used to carry on their rigs.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, if I saw one of those laying around, I'm stealing it. And I'd tell them, pick up your gear, because if it's a halogen or one of those floodlights, I'm stealing it.
Yeah, I'm taking it.
Damn. Yeah. Speaking of, you talk about Rick DiPianto. Love that guy. He wonderful teacher, right?
Yes.
When we initially got on the team, obviously he's one of our senior techs, right? So teaching us how to like cut in the stuff and the process of, how to get in the pipes, what you do, this is how you do it, this is how you don't do it. He made us we were doing hand entry one day, and he was like, I'll make your devices, right? Horrible idea. So
it was a wooden box with the different screws.
Oh man, it must have took us like an hour and a half to get into this thing. He's got like foam, he's got wood, there's metal inside, glass, and like all for that to be like a PR inside. And you're like, so I'm basically just gonna die. It's like if Rick's the bad guy, it's like,
unless you do in complete darkness, you're going to die.
For sure. But no, but like people think that, these guys are crazy, whatever. But there was a house fire in Hillsborough. I don't know if we talk about it or not, but it was a house fire, and there had like, it appeared to be staged explosions, mortars, but it was going off like every hour or whatever it was. I can't remember the details, but here we are. We're like, these guys are crazy. No, these things happen. This is what people do, these freaking things.
I remember that one. He had fireworks in his garage.
Yes.
And they didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
If we want to tell another bomb call-out story, I will. If not, we can move on to something.
No, go ahead. Do it.
When I was still on the team, this is back before BJ's day, because I still got a lot of gray in my beard. He doesn't. I kind of hate that.
Yet.
But anyway.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. So we got a call over in Pinellas County. And for people who don't know, our bomb squad at the time had six counties across Central Florida. We were the regional response. I don't know if it's less or more now, but anyway, we went to Pinellas County, and there was a guy that Pinellas County had served a warrant on for child porn, and he knew they were coming. So he soaked his entire apartment in gas. I mean, like the floor, when you walked, your feet were sloshing because it was just, everything was gasoline. Soaked the curtains, the couches, the floor. I mean, it was like standing gas in there. And he took boxes of 45 rounds and faced the projectiles outwards on all the windowsills.
Jesus.
Molotov cocktails all over the place. And what he was going to do was he had a pull-up bar. I don't know why, because he didn't do pull-ups. I don't know what it is about pedophiles. No upper body strength, but there was a pull-up bar there. Who knows? Had a rope around his neck, and he was standing on top of his hard drive in the the hall leading into the hallway. So he shot himself with the plan of dropping and hanging himself in case the gunshot didn't work. But he forgot to set the apartment on fire before he did that. So Pinellas gets there and sees to serve the warrant, and they're like, wait a second, why does it smell like gas? So they back out and call us. So we get there with the fire marshal's bomb squad, and now we have to go, because they see explosives. Now we have to go and search the entire place for booby traps.
Oh, my God.
So I've got a hanging dead body that I've got to push to the side. It smells like gas and rotting guy. We're going through this apartment, and it was just the worst. And I was like, what an asshole. You forgot to, you went through all of this trouble and forgot to strike a match before you shot yourself.
Exactly. You could have saved us all a lot of time.
Dick.
Damn.
Anyway, clear by death of offender. Easy case.
Easy case. I like it when it happens that way.
Yeah.
Damn.
Stupid stuff. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. So this was one that thought that I had when I had you coming on, because it ties into a couple things. And BJ, for purposes of this question, memories with your dad or dad figure. Yeah. But hold on. What sticks out? Maybe moments. It doesn't have to be the totality, but like, what is one of those key moments that because we talked about this in a couple other episodes, where your parents are like time capsules, the way you view them. and how sometimes, later on down the road, you're like, oh, I remember when he said this, I didn't know what he meant. Now I do. So my question to you, Doug, is like, it could be more than one, but is there a key memory or something that like you remember doing this activity or whatever it was with your dad?
It's funny, and it's about 30 years old, but it's recent because last week we drove our son to the to a college program. Yep. So it's his first time away from home.
Okay.
And I took him up the day before. We were going to kind of get him acclimated. Michelle was going to meet us there that night. The whole next day, we were going to get him set up in his dorm and, haul ass. So it's funny because when I'm driving him up there, and probably days going up to it, I was thinking about my dad taking me to the MEP station to drop me off the day that I shipped out. And, this was back in 93. And it was funny because my dad and I, he's a different generation. Mm-hmm. Our relationship was go mow the grass. You did it wrong. It was just that. It was tough love. Hey, the world's going to be shitty to you. Let me show you how this is going to be. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, I got a lot of pearls of wisdom along the way, but that day that he took me, I remember him driving me there, man. He said, he handed me a book of stamps. They were 29 cents at the time because I still have 2 stamps. And, he said, put this in your wallet. This way you have enough stamps and you can ride home. I said, I don't have a wallet because I always carried my driver's license in my pocket. Yeah. So he emptied out his wallet right there, gave me the wallet that he carried and the book of stamps. I put my driver's license in it and gave him a hug. And he says, I love you, buddy. I'll see you at the airport this afternoon. And really meant a lot to me, man. And it was something that kind of I glossed over at the time, but I still have the wallet and I still have the 2 stamps in the original book of stamps. And I was thinking about that because dropping my son off and, we kind of have the same relationship that I was tougher mm-hmm. than I had to be. And, it was just that. So I was thinking about that when I was driving him up there. And I didn't want to tell him the story because it's just another dad story. But it's like, man, I wonder if this is how my dad felt because it was tough, bro. And I came home and I don't know, man. I cleaned out his room because he left it like he'd been evicted. I'm like, bro, come on, really? You got me again? There's like 150 orphan water bottles. I'm like, hey, this is where all my spoons went. Cupcakes. What the? Anyway, just a teenage kid. Yeah. And I just found myself sitting in a chair, kind of crying. It's like, it's funny. Yesterday he came downstairs and wanted to talk about some nonsensical bullshit about what he and his buddies are doing. I'm just like, God, would you get to the point? And now I kind of miss his feet, footsteps coming downstairs. But I sent him that today. It's a picture of the wallet and the 2 stamps that are left. But and I told him the story. But my dad told me before I left, he said, son, don't count your chickens before they hatch. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? You're not a farmer. I don't live on a farm. I'm in the Air Force, bro. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I started thinking when I got to my base, I was like, okay, so I've worked, through training and this and that. I'll be getting this much pay and my paycheck is going to look like this. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go off with the deferred payment plan, which was like the Air Force's Visa card. And I'm going to buy a whole bunch of stuff for my new dorm room because I'm going to get paid this much money on the first. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. A lot of those chickens didn't hatch. And I remember looking at my roommate saying, hey man, I've been in the Air Force for like 4 months. When is my paycheck, my twice monthly paycheck, when's it going to be over $300? And he laughed and he said, when you hit E2. And I'm like, oh, bro, that's still like 2 weeks away. So yeah, don't count your chickens before they hatch. That was one of them. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, what does that mean? I mean, just
I don't know what that means.
Stupid old man isms that come back to kick you in the ass. And I'm thinking about that stuff because my son's going through the homesick adjustment, and I didn't realize how good I had it at home. I'm like, yeah, bitch, I've been telling you that for
I've been trying to tell you
years. Yep. Like, just wait. And dude, you're just doing laundry and shopping for yourself, man.
Like, you have very minimal responsibilities, buddy. Wait, just wait.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway. I had one today, so that's why it's prevalent on my mind. But it doesn't matter how it came to be. But I remember I was 11 years old, and it was a whole thing. I used to live with my mom and then my dad. I used to go back and forth, but I was living with my dad, He's like, we're going to go camping, just father and son. And I'm like, yay. I had no idea what I was talking about.
It's an old Yeller moment coming up.
The woods. We did real camping where it was like the plastic tarp over like a rope, and he only brought like the real shitty, well, what I call shitty, like you had to heat it on a cup of water, and it was like gruel almost. And if we didn't catch any, which we ended up catching rainbow trout, which is delicious, right? But at the time I was like, ew, I don't want to eat that. Like I just wanted to put it back. He's like, well, if you don't eat, you're not going to eat if you don't do it. So all these little things, right?
Yeah.
And we're eating, and then I'm like getting ready. We're getting ready for bed, so to speak. And I'm like, and it starts raining. I'm like, so where are we going to go? Because I was thinking we were just hanging out under the plastic trash bag thing. And he
goes,
for
it, Dad. Where are we going to sleep?
Yeah. So where are we sleeping? He goes, no, right here. And I remember I was in a sleeping bag, and I had my own little thing. He had his own. And I was like, hey, and I'm doing the kids at night. Hey, Dad, it's wet and I don't like it. He goes, tough. I'm sleeping. Like that was one of those, not in an asshole way, but I just had to make it through. And I remember thinking, this is shitty. I never want to go camping again. And it was like 3 days. It was like 2 nights of this.
Oh, wow.
3 days. No, it wasn't like hey, I'm just going to rough it. And we were in the woods. So like all these things. And I was thinking about today. I was like, I wish I could have understood what I had back then. You know what I mean? Like I wish I could have enjoyed that moment better than I did. I was a brat, and I didn't know what I didn't know what was doing. I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, I remember him trying so hard and again, we're all men. You try to articulate what you're doing and you might not have the words. And I'm just like, damn, what a missed opportunity, but I appreciate the effort.
You know, dude, I'm glad you said that. And you're right, man. That's tough because we don't realize the lesson until it's gone. And even as parents, I tell my kids, I said, look, I want you to hear my heart. Cause I mean, you guys know my story. I wasn't exactly the greatest dad. I was tough. I was there. I was present. I did the things dads are supposed to do, but I could have done a much better job. It just being the hugging dad and not the stern, let's do this better next time, dad. And so when I have conversations with kids now, I said, hey, I don't listen to my words so much. I want you to hear my heart. Know where I'm coming from in this. And I'm trying to do better, but now I'm parenting grownups. My daughter's 21. My son just turned, he's 18. He'll be just turning 19 in 2 weeks. So parenting kids is different, but I tell them, hey, this is your first time being a kid, your first time into adulthood. This is my first time as a dad for kids and now as a dad for adults.
Yeah.
We're all doing this live. Let's give each other a little bit of grace. And I fast forward or I look forward to my dad, who's 83. He's not in great health. I mean, he's 83.
Yeah.
And, you know, I volunteered to go mow his grass. I said, dude, fire your lawn guy. He does a garbage job. You get the gear. I'll come over once a week and I'll mow your grass.
Yeah.
And he's still out there like I'm 13. Hey, you missed that. I'm like, bro, I'm 52.
It's too low.
I will push this this lawnmower and garbage can full of leaves in your pool, and I'll take a 10-8. Bye.
You're burning my grass.
Exactly.
But you know, I just think about it. I was like, he thinks I'm just mowing his grass.
Yeah.
And I'm there. I get to spend time with him. He gets to tell me how to pick up leaves and all that stuff. But yeah, dude, being a dad's not easy.
No.
And moms do the lion's share of the work. I'm sorry, gonna say it.
No, they do.
And so, I mean, we're the spare human in the household, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
So,
BJ?
Yeah.
Let's see. I think we did talk about this before. I was like, we especially we experience. I think the thing was we experience our fathers as time capsules over time, right? As we grow, and I just say for the sake of the conversation, my dad he's very much a quiet teacher, right? So kind of like he'll give you we're going to show you, and then we'll be doing it. I'll be like, ask a question, and he'll give me some kind of like nugget. I'll be like, what the fuck does that mean? What are you talking about? It didn't answer my question at all, right? But one of the things I can always remember, like, the importance of he would never just tell you first. He would always show me first. He'd be like, hey, come on, we're going to go do this. It's, how to change the oil, how to change a tire. And that's how I consistently always picked up, and that's how I learned things, is by doing. And he always has these little nuggets. And I think I told you one time, Ty, he's like, you know what? He's like, you've never been hungry a day in your life. He's like, your mom is, they spoiled, they baby you too much. He's like, you've never been hungry. And I'm like, bro, I'm hungry right now. I'm like, I'm ready to eat. Like, what's for dinner? Whatever, right?
Yeah.
But he's like, he's obviously, you know, I was probably like 8 or 9. I had no idea the context of what he's talking about until I got older. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I got it now. Or how he, or just things that he would do and things that I've picked up, and my mom and my aunt will be like, you're so much like your uncle. Like it's crazy how like you don't say much. You're very quiet. You're very and but at the same time, I respect him more. Even not that I didn't before, but I respect him even more now as I've become my own man and an old adult. He was a very like, I'm gonna ask you one time. I'm gonna tell you another time. After that, we're gonna have a problem, right? I can remember. I've only ever gotten like maybe two spankings in my whole life, right? But they're like, and his thing was, he's like, listen, that spanking shit is for your mom and for your aunt. Like that's. He's like, nah. He's like, you want to do grown man things, make grown man decisions. He's like, you're gonna get grown man treatment. I remember him jacking me up one time by my shirt. Like,
yeah.
I don't remember what I did. I think I like forged a signature on like a progress report.
I bet you didn't do it again.
Right? Never again, right?
Never.
Right? I think I like forged a signature on a progress report because I was like, oh shit, this grade's not good, right? It's I think I had like a C in English at the halfway point, and he would always harped on that shit. Probably one of the smartest men I've ever been around. He's like, how are you failing English? You only speak one language. I'm like,
I said that to my son last semester. I was like, this is a language you speak, bro.
You speak it every day. How do you understand? I was like, geez.
Yeah.
All right. So I was like, well, you know, and two, I think as we grow as adults and especially as men, we're always seeking the approval of our father, right? And I was telling Ty this. I'll tell you, Doug, is that they say, I heard this quote one time. The guy was saying, he's like, your father is probably the only man that will ever truly want to see you doing better than him, right? At his core, wants you to be better than him, have more than he had, you know, whatever. Yeah. So a lot of these things are kind of like, as you say, you know, I want you to kind of see where my heart's at on this one. A lot of that is coming through that. They say, hey, I'm tough because I don't want you to be weak in a world that's very hard, right? So I want to toughen you up. I want you to see what it's like. I don't want you to be surprised. I want you to know what's happening. And he's very, very, very much like that. Construction guy for a lot of years, so he had like these like hard hands, and you know, so everything that I look at now, I'm like, this is what men are. I was like, is this not what men are supposed to be and what they're supposed to do? Because that's what I always looked up to and looked at, right? But I know I was telling you, I was like, he just jacked me up like a grown man, like just threw me around the room, coming out, and my mom was like, you all right? I'm like, I'll be all right. She's like, all right, go to your room. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. And that's after the fact, he was like, you'll be all right. He's like, you'll be fine. And so, you know, I think a lot of it is I was actually I was looking at my notes earlier, but you were talking about your relationship with your son, Doug, and I was listening to a podcast earlier. And the lady, she was in the context of she was talking to other women about their husbands and about the men in their lives, right? And she's like, and essentially what you said was, she's like, men translate their love for you or their care for you by trying to fix your problems or teaching you something or trying to make your life easier, do certain things, you know, in that range. And I'm like, yeah, like now, again, as we have life, you know, we can see the forest for the trees a little bit more. And I'm like, yeah, it's like a lot of our communication comes through our interaction, right? So it's like how you were talking about, like, yeah, you know, you're sitting in the rain in the sleeping bag, but like not necessarily you didn't get the lesson until later.
No.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, hey, I'm trying to show you something. I'm trying to fix something. This is essentially, it's like, I don't like kind of how we go through FTO, right? So, hey, I don't want the first time you write this report or you do this thing to be out there on your own. I want you to do it here so you have an idea, so you're not just fresh to the wolves the first time you do it. And so I'm like, I appreciate that now. As being 39, I'm like thinking backwards, time capsule wise. I'm like, oh yeah, lot of nuggets there over the time where, I'm like, I had no idea what the hell you were talking about. I just saw my parents over Christmas. I was like, I had to tell them, I was like, so remember that one time you said I wasn't hungry? I was like, mind you, that's like, I've been hungry a lot of times in my life, but I do appreciate the lessons that they kind of give us over time,
Yeah, I think, I don't know, man. Yesterday, my son called me, and he's been gone now 10 days, and he's been calling mom, texting her, and he'll be texting her. And he's going to this and he's doing that, and he's meeting these people. They're having a barbecue in the dorms. And I'm like, that's great. I mean, he knows that she's sitting right next to me. I'm hearing all this, but he's not sending me that stuff. But every morning, good morning, buddy. Love you. Have a great day. Good night, buddy. Headed to bed. Love you. Sleep tight. And, hey, hope you're having fun and all that stuff. But he called me yesterday morning, and I left the gym, and on the way to do errands, he called. And I hit the button real quick. Hey, bud, what's up? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And he's just telling me, I'm doing this and doing that and having a great time. And man, just hearing his voice and just talking to him, bro, it was something, man. It really was. Being a dad is something that I wish I'd taken more advantage of instead of chasing rented admiration and stupid shit. And, probably to widen the conversation a little bit, not that you wanted me to do this or ask, but my dad broke his back last year at 82. Not a good thing to do. Spiral fracture, had a fusion and a whole thing, but he was in the hospital. And he's like, son, who's going to take care of mom? Mom had a stroke years ago. He's the primary caretaker. And he's like, how am I going to pay bills? And my credit rating is so good and this and that. And who's going to take care of mom and the dog and everything else? And like, I've got an older sister who's a whiz. She's taking care of all the medical stuff and mom, and I'm taking care of dad in the hospital. I'm trying to reassure him that we can take care of everything. This is easy. You just heal. And to see my dad for the first time, and of course, he's 80, gray hair, knee replacements. Well, what hair he has left is gray, and he's frail and skinny.
Yeah.
And just a little old man. But for the first time, I saw my dad vulnerable and scared. And I learned more, and this was September last year, and I learned more in 3 hours with my dad about the burdens of being a man and being the patriarch of a family that I had in 50 years. I had no idea what my dad had been carrying my entire life, his entire life. I mean, he was in his mind and in his right, he was responsible for the household, the family, the guidance. And it was the first time at 82 where he had to put the pack down and did not know what to do with himself.
Yeah.
And it was crazy, man. It was a very deep experience. It was a great bonding experience. Before my dad would give me a hug, hey buddy, love you. I'm like, oh, I love you too. But after that, man, the hugs he gave me, I felt them, bro. I mean, like I felt them. And it was more than, all right, buddy, see you later. Come back and visit. Call your mama. No, it wasn't any of that. It was, thank you.
Yeah.
You held me up when I couldn't hold it up. And dude, it was very special. It was very special.
Yeah. And again, these are some of the things, thinking back from my grandfather and my dad now. I mean, my grandfather's passed on, but my dad's still around. But to your point, it's hard to talk about them from a kid's perspective because to your point, man, a few words. We all can say our parents are hard or, whatever it is.
They're dumb. He's an ass. He doesn't know any better. I'm smarter than he is. Yeah.
But think about, you saw at 82, and maybe you had seen it before, but just for the purposes of this podcast, at 82 years old, he broke his back. He's laying there and his first thoughts are his family, his wife. How's this going to work? See what I mean? So exactly. It's like, that's not something he just figured out at 82. That's what he'd been carrying the entire time.
No, this was,
even though he couldn't express it.
Yeah. But at this point, he had to rely on someone else. He couldn't gut through it. And to find out after they opened him up, they said, hey, the calcification, he did this probably 6 to 8 weeks ago.
Oh my God.
So he goes, yeah, it's been hurting, but who's going to take care of mom? I'm like, dude, that is
exactly
grit. Grit. Yeah. I can't feel my legs, but I know they're there. I'm like, what?
Yeah. It's like, I'm still moving. So yeah, we'll all right. Yeah.
It's a whole different generation, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know that kind of hard.
No, for sure.
Yeah, but that speaks to we this is something on the last episode we talked about was suffering in silence. You know, not just as you know, the broader view as, you know, as men, where you're responsible, right?
Mm-hmm.
And me and Ty we talk about obviously relationship stuff and marriage stuff and kid stuff. And I'm not married yet or have kids yet, but I still take those relationships with, you know, my godkids and nieces and nephews, and, you know, when I still take those things very seriously, right? And the responsibility is very, very important to me when it comes to who I'm around, who I'm with. And it's like, hey, and I don't think, and I don't even know if we've ever talked about it. Even amongst men, I don't think we have to talk about it. It's kind of like an understood rule, right? It's like, if I'm with Ty and I'm with you and your wife, and you get up and go to the bathroom, I am now responsible for her until you get back. Right? We don't have to say that.
Yeah, I don't see where that would ever have to be a conversation.
Yeah, we don't have to say that between one another. We kind of just innately know these kinds of things. If the kid's with me, I'm responsible for them. Like,
if I can't do that, you're not going to be in my company.
Exactly.
It's really that easy.
Exactly.
Yeah, to our point.
Exactly.
Yes.
You won't be here.
Exactly. But it is a weight when you talk to, you know, we get in spaces like this where you talk to other men. It's like, okay, so it's not just me. Okay. So we're all feeling the weight of being responsible and carrying something. Like we're all feeling it. But you know, it's interesting, and I'm, you know, it's something that it's going to come for all of us at some point, right? We're going to see the, you know, our dads are our heroes. Those are the first, you know, our ideals are set usually by our fathers, right? You know, this is your first hero. It's not Superman in the comic book. It's your dad. You know, I mean, he's my dad could beat up your dad. My dad's the strongest guy in the world. You know, like that kind of, you know, that kind of stuff, right? And we're all going to see it. You know, we're all going to see it first with our fathers. We're all going to go through it as we get older, being like, you know, even now as a cop, like it's like I'm still relatively young, even though I'm kind of like halfway through my career. But this is a young man's game. This is 100% a young man's game.
It's the only place where we get older and the bad guys stay the same age.
Exactly.
They do. You're arresting the third generation shitbags. Like, I arrested your dad when I was a rookie, and now I'm putting your ass in jail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Been there, dude. Like third generation scumbags from town and country. I'm like, dude, I arrested your granddad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
and your dad.
Yeah. It's like, you never stood a chance, but you know, it's you know, it's going to come for all of us, but it is a tough transition, especially the first time we could talk playing sports. Once I got done playing sports, it's like you kind of transition out of like that your younger, more active days. When, as the kids say now, it's like you're unk now. And you're like, oh, you're like, I was like, oh man, I guess I am. You know, like I'm like, you know, but the wisdom kind of kicks in, right? It's like, I don't have to run and jump over 16 fences to catch this guy.
No,
I've been here for 5 years. I know where you're going, so I'll just
I know exactly where you're.
I know where you're going to end up. I'm going to drive my car on the outside and be like, wow, right? But it is interesting that we've all seen it. We all have similar. We can relate to the same things as we kind of progress through life, if you will. You know?
No, yeah. You know, while you were saying that, I thought of something. Yes, Limitless. So Kristen Hemsworth, Thor, on Nat Geo. He did a special. You can find it on Disney Plus called Limitless. So the first one he did was about aging. And the second one was with his dad and, you know, his dad losing his memory and all this other stuff. And, but the first one was on aging. And to your point about not doing football anymore, I can't run up and down the field. I can't put on the pads. I can't do the drills. I can't do that stuff as quickly as I used to, but I can still do some of it just at a different level. Maybe I'm not running a 4.40. Maybe it's a 4-minute 40 because I'm walking it, but you can still do it. There's just different ways of aging and doing that stuff. And I found that show particular with this part of the conversation, it was a great show, man. It was well done. And he talked about youth all the way to aging and being with your spouse and then, you know, preparing for, you know, exiting the planet. It was really deep and yeah, man, those are heavy things to talk about.
No, for sure. Doug, I got you on here and I've referenced it many times, but I'd like to just kind of maybe flush it out a little bit because it hit me very hard, or just stuck with me, I should say. But it's regarding relationships, and you threw it out. And I've brought it up a few times, and you go, everybody thinks that marriage or relationships are 50-50. And I don't want to speak for you, but I'll phrase it. And you were like, maybe hopefully in the course of your entire relationship or your whatever that marriage, it works out to that, hopefully. But some days it's 60-40, some days it's fucking 99-1. You need somebody that way. Could you just kind of elaborate through that? 'Cause it's so good, and I could bring this up every episode because I love it that much.
Well, that makes me uncomfortable, so I'm going to use this to shift and say BJ is so much more introspective and thoughtful and intentional with his answers. Let's let him talk some more.
I mean, you don't have to give the experience, but just what
No, it is, man. It's
so good.
Our intentions can be one thing, but our actions are going to be something different. Okay, our words are going to be one thing, and our actions are going to be something different. So I want to be home on time, but the calls aren't going to let me.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you down. You're going to have to pick it up.
Yeah.
I remember when my son was 5 years old, I was working midnights. I was an acting sergeant as a corporal with a brand new corporal as my corporal and a brand new lieutenant as my lieutenant. So I was training up and down and even trying to figure out myself at the same time while adjusting to midnights. My son was 5 and dad wasn't at home. So and it's time for bed. Oh no, I want a story. I want a song. I want to play trucks in my room. I want to run around the house, half naked, screaming and having fun. So my wife would have to deal with that after a day at work and putting our daughter down and me being gone, worrying about me. I remember during that time, 2011, oddly enough, was a very violent time at the beginning of the year here and for law enforcement, and specifically here in Florida. I think it was 7 law enforcement officers died in Florida within a 2-week time period. And I specifically remember that because I had a very, very young squad. And every night that we worked for an entire pay period, we had a shooting and a shooting or a shooting and a stabbing every night we worked. So it was busy. I was worn thin. And because my wife was the boss's wife, for any lack of better term, we had these young guys, their girlfriends and their wives were calling my wife. How do you deal with this? They said they had this kind of call last night. It's dangerous. Should I wait for a phone call? Should I check in on them? So my wife is being worn down by her job, the kids, being worried about me, and now fielding questions from these younger troops' wives. And it wasn't until retrospectively I saw that she had carried that load and did for the majority of my careers. I say you come home and you have a bad day and you got your ass on your shoulders. Well, guess what, champ? She called out sick to stay home with 2 kids with the flu. You're not the only person that had a bad day.
Yeah.
So you're not carrying, it's not 50-50 that day, brother. That's 99-1. And that's being gracious for your one. And this came to my attention rather recently, probably just before I said it. And I'd watched a video with Jocko Willink. And it was the first time I'd seen Jocko get emotional about anything other than one of his guys. And he was talking about his wife, how she was awesome. And he said, it was never 50-50 because I was never around to be able to carry my load. And when I wasn't, she did. And he paused and got emotionally, and you could hear his voice crack. And he said, and that's legit. When Jocko says that, brother, stamp it, take it to the bank. This is something that he means. And I started thinking to myself, he's right, man. At best, on your best day, you were half of at the best, you could be hoping to pull in the same direction. Yeah. That's at best, but it's never going to be 50-50. And you have to be aware of that as a Leo spouse or a first responder spouse or a military member's spouse. They are carrying the lion's share of the work. You're out there running a gun and jumping fences, having fist fights, chasing bad guys. You're doing all the cool Hollywood shit.
Yeah.
They're at home with sick kids.
Yep.
Or they miss a phone call in the middle of the night. Or is that somebody knocking at my door? Hey, they've got to wait. They have to hope and pray that you're as good at your job as they believe that you are.
Ooh,
and
that's
then
good.
you're going to make it home. Because any time in the middle of the night, a phone call or a knock on the door says, Mommy or Daddy's not coming home anymore, bro, you can't unring that bell.
Yeah.
So to understand all the things that they carry, and again, I'm no saint. I'm the asshole here because I drove hard for 22 years before the wheels came off, and well, they took me out of the game, and I'm glad, because if not, at the rate I was going and the way I was going, nah, dude,
Yeah.
it was nothing but disaster on the path for me. But to be able to sit back in retrospect in the peace and quiet and realize those things and recall the conversations my wife and I had back then, and me dismissing them as, whatever. You don't see the hard work that I'm doing for you and the kids.
Yeah.
She didn't want the overtime pay, dude. She didn't want me on the bomb squad. She didn't want me
Yeah.
gone for 6 weeks when she was 5 months pregnant with our son and a 2-year-old running around the house.
Yep.
I never asked her for any of those things. She supported me gleefully. Deployments, call-outs, bomb calls, hurricane details, dude, you name it. She never flinched. Never. And I never asked her, can I do this? Is this best for us? So, dude, to say that I pulled 10% at any time from 2004 to 2020, well, that's bullshit.
Damn.
I was pulling for another team, brother. I wasn't pulling for mine. I was being pulled.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what it is. I wish I could sit here as the wonderful spouse that did it right, but I didn't. And by the grace and the love of a woman, I'm not here. I'm not married. I mean, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BJ.
The most important person you can ever pick is your person. That's
Bro,
bro. BJ been talking about relationships kind of frequently now, just in thoughts. But dude, the way that you lay that out, I don't know. Again, I see a lot of myself in that. Talk about I am the asshole, and luckily I was able to pull the ripcord. Not in 20 years, thankfully. I had good people around me. I'm serious, because it makes me reflect a lot, and it's made me reflect since you told me that back in 2024 when we talked about it, and it has stuck with me ever since. And even now in my new relationship, I find myself starting to lean, and I go, I got to stop, and I'll say it out loud. I did this. I'm sorry. And she's like, no, it's not. I was like, no, it is. It is a big deal. I should not have done this. And then I'm trying to hold myself, like I just say it out loud now. Like I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing. And even though you don't realize it in the moment, because I've experienced it now. So nah, man, it hit me. BJ, go, bro, go. Sorry.
No, you speak to something. While you were talking, Doug, it reminded me of something for some reason, you know, when you hear terms, you really think about what they actually mean. This is a Ty, you'll know this one for sure. This is a church term, right? It's being equally yoked, right?
Yeah.
And but I think I was like, I've heard that so many times that you just kind of like, no. I was like, but I don't know if people actually. I didn't know what being yoked actually meant, right? The concept of it, and it was talking about when you yoke your
the
oxes. Right,
and they pull the same way, and they're doing the same job. Yeah,
carrying their load. Exactly. So it's like, it doesn't necessarily mean, he's like, if you have an ox that's weak on the right and one that's weak on the left, it's like you have to put them in the proper position so you can still go forward. It's like you can't have one weak on the left and the other one weak on the left. Now we're all just pulling in the wrong. We're going to a place we don't need to go. Right. So it speaks to picking the right partner and communicate well. I think we all kind of learn this over time. We try to get better at it as we go, but communication, right? I like to check in. I like to say that currently where I'm now, I like to voice my appreciation out loud, right? Because that's also important. Like, hey, I know I've been very, very busy for the last 2-3 weeks. I appreciate you not giving me shit about it or whatever. I'm gonna make the time to do this. We're gonna go on this trip. We're gonna go on this, to your favorite restaurant. We're gonna go do these things. But I don't want you to feel like I'm not noticing. It's like I'm appreciative of you not giving me shit for trying to do whatever. I'm trying, not that you can ever just make it up, because it's like you said, it's like she wants you to be here with her. I was like, but I rationalize out, like, first of all, when I was younger, I would I would have a smart ass comment. I'd be like, listen, I was like this when you met me, and this is the reason why you like me, right? Because if I wasn't doing all these things, you wouldn't like me, and you wouldn't view me in such esteem if I wasn't doing all these things and capable of doing what I'm doing. But at the same time, and I've learned just from listening to other people, older men, people who've been there and kind of done that, of especially with this job, it's like the job will eat you up and spit you out, and then they'll just hire somebody new, right? So like if you're gone tomorrow, it's like worst case scenario, I get got tomorrow, that position number will be filled in a week, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Oh,
like my account will be reassigned
immediately.
It's already accounted for. Yeah.
How many minutes was there a chief deputy spot open at the sheriff's office?
Please.
5?
Please.
I don't even know. They already knew who was filling it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Then I have to laugh. It's like, yeah, if you were the best person for that job, shouldn't you have already been sitting in that office? Whatever. But no,
anyway.
BJ, you were like a giant, scary ass fortune cookie, bro. You should be on like the top of a mountain where people take goat rides to come up and get the secrets of life from you. I mean, seriously, dude, at 39 years old, you are an old soul. And I'm not going to say you have it figured out because none of us do, but you are definitely a student and you're definitely paying attention, man. You're impressive, bro. You're impressive.
I'm trying. I appreciate it. I'm trying.
No, it shows.
Doug, when he was talking about getting thrown around by his dad, BJ, I say he's the runt in his whole family.
Yeah,
I know. I've heard you guys say that on other shows,
being.
and I think it's hysterical because, bro, you held the bench press record for the sheriff's office for like years, didn't you?
It was like almost 10 years, like 10 years.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. He still does it in his garage. That's a different
with nobody around.
Yeah. And hey, listen, self-preservation is a very strong motivator. It's a strong motivator.
I agree. But self-preservation for me now is I'm not going to do that shit.
No. Yeah.
I'm getting there. Trust me. I'm getting there.
My bones are hurting. BJ, I want to talk about some of the other stuff Doug's doing just in his own life. But do you have any other thoughts, questions before we move on to that? Because I do want to get into that.
No, nothing I can think of. Let's jump into it.
All right,
I'm
perfect.
Scared now. I feel like I'm getting ganged up on here, man.
Never
I'm
would.
Even in the middle of the screen, I'm like, shit.
No,
I don't know where to go.
Fans. Well, we've talked about your book, Hiding in Plain Sight. Love it. I think everyone should read it. It'll be in the description. But I am interested because your podcast, Tell the Story. And let me just kind of set it up. So when you initially came on Street Tales, you were like, you were kind of touch and go on it, I think, or like you had put it aside. I don't want to speak for you, Doug, so correct anything I'm saying. But now from what I see, or at least what I'm seeing on everything you're posting and you're in it. You seem to be in like this, you're locked in. And I just want to kind of ask your mindset or what's pushing that and what are you learning from it? And again, if I misspoke, correct me.
No, you're absolutely right. So when I started all this stuff, man, first writing the book was a joke. People were asking me, what are you going to do when you retire? Guys, like, you don't know how to stop.
Yeah.
And I thought about everything. I'm going to teach undergrad. I'm going to go work for Department of Defense, support soft forces. And I'm like, I'm going to do bombs, bullets, and bad guys because I love those things and I can make a lot of money teaching that stuff. But none of those things set me on fire. So I said, I'm going to write a book. And a lot of people at my cake party at the district were like, oh, shit.
Oh no, what is he going to write?
Yeah, because when I signed off on my case, and it's in the book and it's in the Audible, but when I signed off on my case before I walked out of the major's office, he said, be careful how you tell this story.
Ooh.
And he was a friend of mine at the time. Anyway, he wasn't telling me, hey, don't go run. He's basically telling, don't go run your mouth. You know how it works. The double secret probation after you're punished. They only cut your throat. They can still skin you. Yeah. So, he was giving me the warning. Take it like a trooper, put on your pack and head out, which is what I was going to do. I mean, he knew that that's how I operate. So when I said I'm going to write a book and I saw the looks, I was like, yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm going to tell about everything, the real stuff. And not to be mean.
Yeah.
But this is my story and how I did it wrong because I was healing partially at that. I saw a path forward. But I got very dark after I retired and I journaled and it became a book. The lessons I learned of the journaling became a book. So I figured start the podcast along with it. But the podcast wasn't going anywhere, man. I've had like 11 subscribers. I was interviewing my buddies, people, books that I read. And, they say, 90% of the people who do a podcast don't do more than 8 episodes. I was like, all right, I'm going to have 8 episodes recorded before I even launch. So I'm ahead of the losers already. It just, I don't know, man. I was like, nobody's listening. Why am I doing this? But at that point, I had like 30 episodes and had not mentioned once that I'd written a book. I was like, this is a horrible business plan. And my business plan was write and publish a book. It wasn't sales. It wasn't recoup money. It wasn't any of that stuff, man. Because I didn't know, and I didn't know any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I just figured, I've been in front of classrooms. I've scared at least 2 people that I know of with my teaching. So I'm comfortable.
In a good way.
I'm comfortable speaking in crowds. And so anybody who wants me to speak about anything that I've experienced in the last 30 years, whether it's leadership, field training, bombs, bad guys, military, trying to be a better husband and a present dad, I can speak about those things, not from a clinician standpoint, but a guy who got it wrong. And
so good.
I did a graduating address back in November in New Orleans. My buddy's the captain of the regional post academy there, and he says, "Bro, I need to get you up here." And we'd been working on it for a while, and I finally flew out there and did it. And I brought copies of my books for all of the kids that were graduating, and I wanted them to have it. And I explained to them briefly because he'd been telling them, "This is who I am." He's going to be giving the keynote. So I met them all. And I said, look, I know y'all have spent the last 6 months reading and reading and reading. The last thing you want to do is read something, but here it is in your own time. Thumb through this. For some of you, this is what it is. It's my cautionary tale because I don't want you to repeat what I did. For some of you, it's going to be a roadmap of what to stay away from. And for some of you, it's going to be a crystal ball. Don't let it be a crystal ball. That's the point of this.
That's good.
You don't have to do the mistakes that I made. And I've laid out every weakness, everything that I did wrong and things that I could have done better. The things that could hurt me are there for you. And I bring that to this now, man. I'm not an expert. I don't have, I don't have a kick-ass beard. I don't have a cool backdrop. I don't have a mic that's branded. I don't know how to do that stuff, man. I just want to help. I mean, I've helped about 10 people get their books published, and I haven't asked for a penny. And I don't want a penny, man. I just,
I'm one of them. You help me.
And I'm honored to have been a part of that, man, just to sit back and I refer to it as having a ticket to the dance. Like when you guys were in the academy, y'all blessed me with a ticket to the dance. I got to meet you in the academy and I got to sit back and watch your careers. I mean, there's people in the academy class that I ran as a coordinator. Now the chief deputy, my old zone partner is now the undersheriff. We were FTOs together and zone partners, man. And so to be able to be a part of other people's successes and just to watch your journey, that's why I'm still in this game, man. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, nobody's listening. I'm not going to do this. And ding, I get a LinkedIn. Hey, I don't know you, but I was watching a video based on, lacing shoes for left-handed people. Some obscure bullshit, and a podcast clip that you had came up, and I've absorbed. I stayed awake all night. I ordered your book. Oh my God, you've changed my life. Or I read your book and I stopped drinking. I've been sober 3 weeks now. Or, I gave this to a buddy of mine and he said, I thought it was just me. Just those things, bro. They're just, damn.
Yeah.
It is an absolute gift to receive feedback like that. It's a gift to be present in this space. It's a gift to teach people through my mistakes and things and I did a lot of stuff right, man. I enjoyed quite a bit of success. And one of these days I'll talk about that stuff after I tell people the things that I messed up. And, because I think the biggest part of growth, and I learned this literally through my reading, and I went to the Boulder Crest Struggle Well 2-day program. And it was funny, it's something that I'd figured out. And I was like, dude, there's a program that's been around for 7 years. I didn't have to do this on my own. But
yes,
they talk about the most important part of post-traumatic growth is service. And my friend John Kelly, and if you guys haven't interviewed him, I got to connect you with John Kelly. John's just the best. But John says, if you've made it through this like we have, it's like finding the answers to the test, and you're kind of a dick if you don't share the answers with your buddies. There's a moral obligation to share the answers. if somebody wants you to come speak, ask them to pay for your airfare and your hotel while you're there. You don't need 40 grand.
No,
you don't. That dude, you know how many great programs that are not wristbands and cuddly dogs sponsored by your agency that could be, given back to the people and help.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, just be responsible, give back to the people who have given you so much and just, I don't know, bro. Once a week I want to quit. And just that moment I quit, I get a text from you. Hey, you want to be on 56? I'm like, oh my God, I love that show. So I don't know, man. I feel like I've departed from the question you asked, but it's hard to keep going because people like us, we look for the metric. How do I know I'm being successful? Well, somebody's told me I'm successful, or I get that next rank, or I get the promotion, or I get the transfer, or I get more money. The stuff here is intrinsic. And if you've never told yourself, oh, bro, this is going to be a big one. I'm going to cuss here, guys. I think I'm going to fuck myself up on this one because this is the first time I've said it out loud. But if you, if you've never told yourself you're good enough, what's the metric? I changed the goal line and push it further and further away from me every single day. Every day. Because never once have I been good enough for me. The ambition of shame, man. I have been chasing a place that I believed that I earned back in my military days. I've been stacking achievement, fist fight, car chase, disruptions, bomb call outs, kicking in doors, shootouts. All the things that are proved to myself, to prove to people around me that I earned the company that I kept.
That's a wild way to think,
I have to be good enough for me. And I'm not there yet. I wish I were. But man. So how long is the podcast going to go? Until I'm enough.
As long as we need to.
Until I'm enough. How many books am I going to write? Until I'm enough. I don't know, bro. Again, I don't sit here with all the answers. I'm just a dickhead that got it wrong and don't want you to do it wrong too. That's it. That's what makes me special, is because I'll tell you, I'm an asshole. Like I bought a Ford Bronco Sport. And I say, I was driving down the road, I saw a Bronco coming my way and I waved and just kind of looked at me like I'm an asshole. I was like, okay, that's only for motorcycles, not Bronco drivers. But, it's funny. You're going to have to edit this out. But, my buddy's like, hey, nice car. The thing is, man, just being honest and put it out there, connect with people, let them know that they're not alone. And if I sit here and say, hey, I'm brave, man, I was with headquarters SOCOM for 10 years. And I knew this guy and that guy and legends. And I was in the car and I was in the room when it happened. And dude, nobody gives a shit about that stuff. You got to be happy with you. Because I could tell the stories all day, man. But anybody outside of this circle here, nobody gives a fuck. It means nothing, dude. You've got to be good enough for yourself. And I pray that one day I'll get there. Yeah. Sorry.
No, CBJ, he just drops it, bro. I love it.
It's good.
But a couple things. One, what I appreciate, what I'm hearing, it's the humility. Hold on, let me phrase this correctly, because there's a lot of people with false humility, which I fucking hate, and most people can pick that up, and it's hard, and I'm still struggling with it now to be like, yeah, this is how I fucked up. All right, let me back it all the way up. Telling my kids how I fucked up or what I did wrong, or explaining to them, not for the intent of trying to glorify my assholeness or my shittiness, but to be like, you don't have to do this. I did this. I thought it was cool, or I thought I was whatever I was doing. I was wrong. Oh man, I'm gonna fuck myself up. Damn. That again, it's just for me and my children. But to see their faces when I do something like that, I have to swallow that. But I will say, my son, at least for now, he's like, Dad, I get it. He's starting to get it. He's 20. He's starting to understand. My daughter, I'm still, I'm her dad. She's my baby girl. It's just how it's always going to be. I told her, I don't care if you're 60 and I'm whatever. You're going to be that little girl that, what I mean? Like, she'll come and sit on my lap. So just sit there and look them in the face and tell them that you were wrong and this is what you did bad and this is why, or whatever it is. To see that on a public scale, and not just like, I had all these accolades in my career, I did all these amazing things, but I was fucked up and my mindset was wrong. That's so hard. That's so hard people don't understand how hard that is to say.
No, dude, I filled my cup.
Oh,
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I had to be important. So my wife could say, I'm married to the boss. Or that's my husband with all the cool stories. None of that shit mattered to her. None of it. Ever. And she never let on that it was important, never said it was important. She just let me go because that's what filled me. What made me happy.
That's what you like.
And it was all rented admiration anyway, man. It was all that shirt, the titles, everything, it all stays. You know, people ask me, hey, how come you don't put on your speaker note that you were a lieutenant for this large agency? And I was like, well, I didn't retire as a lieutenant. Like, yeah, but you were a lieutenant. I was like, yeah, but I'm not now. My name's Doug. My name was Doug then, by the way. And if you got to tell if you got to sell retired, like I see on the news all the time, retired General so-and-so. So General, tell me, like, bitch, his name is Mr. Whatever it is. He retired in the Cold War. Why is this guy still a pundit on this show? You don't get to take it with you. I'm a doctor. Really? Do you practice? Well, no. Then you're not a doctor. You have a degree. Congratulations.
Whatever it is.
Back to what you said though, Tyler. It's hard for you to tell your kids that. But I will tell you this, you're showing them, whether you know it or not, you're showing them what character looks like.
Yeah.
And it's not easy, dude.
Still learning. No, it sucks.
Character is not easy. I just had this conversation with my son today.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, dude, I know it's tough. Being uncomfortable. It's new people, new routine, grocery shopping for yourself. These things are difficult.
Yeah.
They're not impossible, but this is where character, this is where it grows, bro. When you're uncomfortable, got to sort it. And, yeah, man, you can't miss those opportunities, and it hurts when you have to show it, but it demands it, dude. It demands it. If you're going to be where you're at now and you're going to try to tell other people or tell other people your story or connect with people, you have to be real. And people like us, dude, like you guys said it, man, you sniff around long enough, you're going to call bullshit. People that we speak to, they know you're full of shit before you walk through the door.
Yes.
He's not wearing 5'11" pants, not one of us,
No,
dude, I love the pants, but come on, man. I wear big boy pants now.
I know
for sure.
But anyway, you know what I'm saying, dude. People can see through it in a heartbeat. And if you want to connect with people and you want to be of service to people, you have to meet them where they're at and you have to be real. Why else are you doing it?
No, for sure. And BJ, I'm sorry, one more little diatribe, but points that we're making. But I remember my mother told me this, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and it drives me nuts because she doesn't remember saying it. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, Ma, you fucked up my whole world and you don't even remember what you said. But I was asking, I was like, Ma, what are some things I should be thinking about as I get older? And she's in her 60s now, but she's like, she took a minute to think about it, and she was like, guilt. Try to limit your guilt. And she goes, because that is what keeps me up at night.
Right.
She goes, not that I didn't, not something I did wrong, something like that. She goes, but when you did something wrong and she goes, hurting, your children, your spouse, whatever, she goes, guilt. And that's all she said. And it hit me. And in talking about what I was referring to, like, kind of laying your shit out. I just call it shit. You're putting it in the room for everyone to see. I was always told, hey, you got to do this. You'll sleep better at night. You'll feel better. That is not true. I have not sleep. I felt awful, and I still bothers me sometimes because I'm like, I wish I'd never. You know what I mean? Like that guilt phase.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but it's just it's these things that you begin to think about as you get older. Sorry, BJ, I took over.
No.
Brene Brown says that guilt and shame cannot survive being named.
Oh, okay.
You have to put it out there because it can't survive understanding or empathy.
Mm-hmm.
It can't. You have to put it out there, hope to be forgiven or hope to receive grace. I mean, you look at my book, the first page, to my kids, should they ever decide to read this.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for excuses, but hopefully one day I'll receive their grace. They'll understand more about their father should they read the words on the following pages.
Yeah.
I'm asking for grace there. They haven't read the book. And in their time, they will.
Yeah.
I was like, one to your point. I was like, you said it would make, not that you can't sleep better or worse, the fact that is you can sleep, right?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily about the quality of sleep. It's the fact that you can sleep, right?
Yeah.
Because, and then too, and I've told you that I've talked about this with, in therapy, I'm like, guilt is a self-imposed emotion, right? And so nobody said, no one's going to say, hey, you should feel guilty about this. Well, if I don't feel guilty about it, then I don't.
Yeah.
Right. And then most things, once you address it, once it's out there, you address it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, I don't know where the fuck I heard this from, but I thought it was brilliant at the time. They were like, oh, you got skeletons in your closet. He's like, yeah, I know. It's like, I put them in there. I'm aware. I put them in there. I know.
Yeah.
I know it's in there. Right. So it's like, once we both know, it's like, you can't, once I address it, it's like, you can't use this to hurt me anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like any mistake I've made, anything I've done wrong, it's like, okay, I got it. Now what?
Yes. Yeah.
Once you put it out to the world, there's 200 pages of everything that could hurt me, man. You become unfuckwithable.
Yeah.
It's all there, dude. It is the most liberating and most powerful thing I've ever done for myself. And self-ownership, man. Self-ownership is self-love. It really is, dude. It really is. Because once you put it down and put it out, you can see what it is that you think about it. And yeah, man. It's cool. Man, I love talking to you guys. It's just
right.
I feel like the whole world should get more 56'N. So everybody should subscribe and tell your friends.
That's right. Damn right.
This is awesome.
And tell the story. I love it, dude. But I'm a fan. Now, your conversations, I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to fanboy or whatever, but I see the progression in the conversation. Maybe it's the people. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I find myself just like, I love that. Or I'll write down little notes. You have little sayings or, whoever your guest is. And I'm just like, let's fucking go. I love it. I don't know. I'm still that guy where I'm like, I love seeing somebody who's passionate and knowledgeable and not, to your point, like, oh, well, in my research, we learned this. And it's like, no, I did this. I fucked up. This is what happened when I fucked up. And now this is what I'm trying to do to make amends or whatever it is. And then hearing that back and forth, I don't know. I'm a fan. So
BJ said it earlier. I learned from doing.
Yeah.
I learned because I messed up. Those are the lasting lessons, man. Nobody had to tell me how to do it. I figured it out all on my own.
That's why I could tell you. That's why I could tell you about it. Because I know I've done it. I've seen it happen before.
So I used to say some stupid shit, bro. I have no problem finding humility. I run headlong into it almost every day.
So good. So good. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. I have one last question, Doug. But BJ, do you have anything before I ask my last question to Doug?
I'm sorry. I was thinking about this earlier. I'll circle back to it real quick. We're talking about authenticity, right?
Yes.
And how we can kind of see through it and kind of tell. I think for you, Doug, it's watching you do your thing. It's like you can tell when somebody is doing something that they genuinely just like doing. And I've kind of come into that space of doing what I like to do because that's what I want to do, because that's what I like to do. I enjoy it. That's the only reason. I'm doing it because that's what I like to do, not because it's going to like get you something or. Yeah, and we've all seen it on the professional side, right, career side, where you can kind of tell like, I see what you're doing. You're over there doing this thing because you want to,
you think it's going to,
it's going to benefit you in some way. I'm typically not that way. Maybe to my detriment to my career, right? But I will say it is. There is no metric on that, right? The metric is, do I like it or not? That's the only metric that I think matters on the day-to-day and in the long run. It's just that's the only one that I can actually affect and I can measure. Do I like this or not? It's very binary. Am I enjoying? Do I like it? Yes. Keep doing it. Do I not like it? Okay, don't do it. Very simple. Takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. But yeah, that's all I had. I was thinking about that when you said it, and yeah.
Well, I've got to keep, as long as there's one person listening, and it fills me. That's the thing. Because doing the podcast thing, man, if somebody has a book, I want to read their book. I want to be respectful of their time. And by the time I get done clipping everything and producing, it's like an 18-hour thing for a 1-hour show.
Yes.
I was doing 4 or 5 a week.
Yeah.
It became my full-time job when it was never meant to be a full-time job. Dude, I retired at 49 and a half. I never have to work again.
Yeah.
I'm a volunteer for this shit. And, as long as it fills me and as long as one person is listening, I'm going to keep doing it. But I need to find a spot when it's time to step off. And I've got to name that spot soon. If not, I'll continue to do it. And I don't want to outrun my usefulness, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I don't want people to keep me around. I don't want to still be there if what I'm doing is not of service to people. So,
Yeah, fair.
we'll get it all figured out, man. But,
perfect. Last
I'm going to have to
question,
listen
Doug.
to this episode again so I can remember these lessons and write them down.
So good. I got a bunch of notes, but last question.
Yeah.
And I could put it's for the group, but Doug specifically, what advice do you have for the next generation? I'm going to say first responders, but we can focus on law enforcement because I do, and I've said this many times, and I'm trying to make sure I do because sometimes we get off the rails. Law enforcement is a brave and honorable profession. I still believe that. I hope I always believe that. I hope it doesn't shift in any way, that it becomes not that. But there are lessons that need to be learned and pitfalls that we need to be better at avoiding either individually or agency-wise. But all that to say, what advice do you have for the next generation, sir?
Okay, well.
Putting you on the spot.
No, you're not really, because I've got so many things that I want to say. When I came on, people would tell us, the bosses would say, if you had a problem with something, first, nobody ever said that. But if somebody did, or there was a story that somebody had a problem with something, you're not tough enough for the job. That's bullshit. Don't listen to that. I think those dinosaurs are gone for the most part. I think the kids that are coming in now are more emotionally intelligent than we were, or certainly I was, and can understand that when there's a problem, you're allowed to have a problem and it's valid. But we were also told there's 10 people waiting in line to take your job.
Yep.
There may have been true then. It's not true now.
It ain't now.
No.
And if it were, guess what? State pensions are going to investments. That means I can pick up and go to any of the 60-plus counties in Florida and still be part of the state retirement system. I could go work for Tampa Airport Police, which is parity pay and Florida retirement system. Let's see. Stolen cars, abandoned vehicles, flight line security, maybe, and lost luggage versus midnight shift in Waimama. So my point to that is, kids nowadays, if you're at an agency, the only reason you're there past a year is probably because you have a lease on an apartment and you can't break it. Kids nowadays are highly mobile. They can take their 401k and their investment plans, and they can go to any agency in the state. They can lateral, and guess what? They ain't scared. I was told this was the only thing I was good at, and this is the only thing I could do. I was lied to. If you are in a place that is not safe for you, the leadership does not demonstrate moral courage. If they take a knee in the middle of City Hall or in the street because the crowd's yelling at them because somebody did something wrong, whether it was wrong or perceived wrong, it doesn't matter. If you make comments one way or the other without having all of the information first, you are irresponsible. And when you have people that are trusted figures saying, this is wrong, we should do this or we should do that, it's irresponsible. So if you have leadership that are saying things like that, go to another organization. And by the way, if you have a business degree and thought you'd be a cop and you don't like it, go to business.
Yeah.
There's literally anything else in the world that you can do, because if you can be a cop anywhere for a week, a month, you're capable of anything. Problem solving, critical thinking, managing your time, managing yourself, showing up for work on time, not a skill, but those other things, those are a skill. Don't believe what the bosses and the cool guys are telling you. You're more than a badge. You're more than a uniform. You can serve in any capacity anywhere in this country. So if it's not safe, go find some place that is. That's the best advice I can give you. Not leave the profession, but do the job that you feel called to do, but do it in a safe place, one that benefits you. Because like BJ said, they will post your job before your obituary hits the paper.
Yeah.
They don't care, bro. They don't care. You know how many calls I've gotten since I retired asking if I'm okay?
Not a lot.
The same amount that I got in March of 2020 when I said, hey, I have a problem and took a knee. 0. So.
Fair enough.
And I wasn't just some dude who worked there. I like to think that I contribute a little bit more than that.
A little something. Yeah.
But anyway, that's the lesson I learned. It's all rented admiration, man. They can replace you over the course of a weekend. Your family cannot and will not.
Yeah.
So that's the lesson. That's the message.
I didn't know where that was going to go, and it went way better than I thought it would. That is so good.
Thank
you. Doug, that was so good, bro. I didn't know where you were going to go, but that was amazing.
I thought I was going to go scorched earth.
I didn't know.
Anywhere but this fucking place now. I would never. I still believe that it's a premier law enforcement agency.
Yeah.
So anyway.
That again, it wasn't targeted at any one agency.
No.
But to your point, leadership should back. Yeah, if you don't feel
18,000 law enforcement agencies in this country, you're employable.
Yeah.
Hell, you could probably go to some of these places and be the chief.
You're not
seriously.
Wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong.
You could read. I mean, I'm sorry, that's fucked up. Are you good with reading numbers?
It's like,
cipher numbers.
Yeah, I might. Right. I might.
BJ, any final thoughts, sir?
No, I think you wrapped it up pretty good. Yeah,
that was good.
Thank you for
don't go
joining.
anywhere.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Thank you.